G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Bitcoin update. Just going into the short-term price action today. Nice little quick video, just diving into the price action over the last 24 hours and some progressions that I see in the charts. We're also going to be looking into Bitcoin monthly returns over the course of the entire price history of Bitcoin, through which we can discover something pretty amazing about the month of January 2023. So check out the VIP group below. We've got the VIP results for Q4. You can check all that out if you want to get access to trading signals and altcoins. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So I want to start off the video by bringing up this. This is Bitcoin monthly returns, and it goes over basically every single month in Bitcoin's price history from 2013 to this year in 2023. And the returns from the start of the month, the first of that month, to the end of the month, right? So the total gain or loss in that month. And you can see here that out of all the Januaries in Bitcoin's price history, you can't really highlight them, but they're on the left-hand side of the screen, right? Look at the top column, January, and look downwards. Those are all the Januaries in Bitcoin's price history. We are seeing the most green January we have seen in Bitcoin's price history since 2013, right? Currently, we're at 23.1K. If I was to make this video a few hours ago when we made the move upwards towards 23.8K, we would be at the best January Bitcoin has seen in its entire price history, its entire existence, which is extremely bullish. Now, obviously, the month hasn't closed yet. We've got 5 days until January actually ends, but that's extremely interesting, right? Because that means this is the strongest performing January in the entire price history of Bitcoin, which really gives you an idea of the macro momentum we are seeing, especially considering the fact we should be seeing diminishing returns. What you can also see is that if you look to the right, so we have the column on the left, which is January. If you look just to the right of that, you have February. And it's very important to note that February is one of the most green months in terms of average returns that Bitcoin actually has as well. So following the historical trend, we've seen a very green January, and we should be seeing quite a green February as well, based on the historical trends. In fact, we've only ever seen 2 red Februaries, and only one of them was significantly red. The rest of them were pretty much positively green, right? Over 10% green, other than one occurrence in 2018. So that's extremely good to see. Okay, it means that we're very, very likely at this point to head upwards further in 2020, in 2023 February, than we are currently in January. So we have a green January and a green February according to this historical trend, which is great to hear. And since we are on the topic of monthly candles, we do have something very interesting occurring on the monthly RSI. Now, we have a very major support level, right, previously that marked the bottom in both 2015 and 2018 on the monthly chart RSI. You can see this red line on the RSI I've drawn at 44, around 44 on the RSI. That did mark the bottom in 2015 and 2018. Now, this year and last year, we dropped below that level. Everyone was screaming that was a major concern. Everyone was saying that was a break of the 4-year cycle and that Bitcoin's going to go down further and for longer. Guess what? That's been disproven at this point. In 5 days and 19 hours, we will be seeing a monthly candle close. And provided that monthly candle closes above, say 22K, I don't know, something like that, it's hard to say. Provided it closes around this price level, okay, which isn't certain, by the way, right? We could drop down, but provided that does happen, we would be closing back above this monthly resistance and hence flipping the downside price action we saw and avoiding a further drop on Bitcoin. That would be just another piece of evidence that Bitcoin would be out of its major capitulation zone, which would be excellent to see. So we have to watch very closely, right, over the next 5 days and 19 hours for that monthly candle close for that reason. And of course, in the next, roughly 5 days, in fact, we're looking at 3 days and 19 hours now, we also need to look at this descending wedge formation. We spoke about this a lot yesterday. I'm not going to get into too much today, but we have a descending wedge formation on the logarithmic weekly chart on Bitcoin. And provided Bitcoin closes the weekly candle above 22K, we will be breaking that wedge to the upside, and hence we will be making a macro move up to 28.6K over the course of the next couple of months, which would be excellent to see because 28.6K is the next major resistance zone above us right now. So I can't stress that enough on the monthly chart. 5 days and 19 hours until we get back above that RSI level. That's a very major level. It's not only major because it acted as support on these 2 previous bear markets. It's also major because it acted as resistance over the last, 6 or 7 months since July. And we rejected off that level on 2 separate occasions. So it's great to see us get back above that. If we can close above it in 5 days and 19 hours, that will be very reassuring for the price action and very reassuring for the overall reversal pattern we're seeing on Bitcoin right now. But adding to the good news, we did have something that we identified a couple of weeks ago on Bitcoin, this bearish harmonic pattern, which is called a bearish bat formation. It's It's a very unique formation. Not many analysts know about it. Not many analysts use it. I personally have used it a lot in the past, and so I'm very familiar with the I guess you could say the angles of trajectory that are meant to build up this pattern. We teach it in the Crypto Academy courses, for example. But what I'm looking at here, what I did look at was the fact that we could have seen a massive fake out on Bitcoin above this yellow line. I identified this pattern before we broke out, and I said, as long as Bitcoin gets above, say, 20K, we will break out of the angles of trajectory needed to form a bearish bat formation, right? And we'll break to the upside and invalidate that formation. So I want to give you guys an update on that formation. That formation would have suggested that we go downwards from here and do something like that and actually reverse and go even further down. Thankfully, due to the macro momentum we saw to the upside based on, various factors that we saw, such as an RSI breakout on the weekly chart, breaking out of this yellow line, breaking out of bull market support band, thankfully we managed to avoid the negative repercussions of what that bearish bat formation would have kind of caused for Bitcoin. We managed to break that further to the upside. So for those of you wondering, is there an overall bearish pattern going on behind the Bitcoin rally? I can't necessarily identify one. The only bearish patterns I can really start to see forming, and this is something I've talked about very extensively, is the bearish divergence on the daily chart RSI. We're seeing some very bad, very ugly candle wicks to the upside here. And we can also see that if we're taking 23.8K, this upper pink dashed line, as a resistance zone, which it is, right? We've just rejected off that a few hours ago on a move up on Bitcoin. So it's not particularly strong. I wouldn't say the current trend is particularly sustainable. However, I spoke about this a lot yesterday. Short-term TA has been pretty rough and pretty hard to estimate over the last few weeks, so I'm not going to try and estimate it now. We have a RSI triangle forming on the 4-hourly chart, which is worth keeping an eye on. If we break that to the downside, it's very likely we break below 22.4K. And these two pink lines, and this is what I discussed yesterday, right? These two pink dashed lines are our trigger zones. So long as we are between the two pink dashed lines, which is 21.9K and 23.8K, so long as we are between that range, that 2000 USD range, we are in kind of a no man's land. We're in a sideways area where we're just consolidating. If we break above the pink dashed line, we will go upwards and we will likely see a move aiming towards 28.6K. And if we break downwards below the pink dashed line, we will go downwards and we will likely see a move towards this green box at around 20K to 19.5K, which I slightly adjusted from 19.5 to 19.8 to 19.5 to 20K. And I did that because I identified that there actually is pretty strong support around that 20K region. And of course, the 200-day SMA, this green line, will be trending upwards, probably upwards towards that 20K region by the time we get there, if we do. So again, just clarifying, and this is what I talked about a lot in yesterday's video, if we break the pink line to the upside, okay, at 23.8K, we're likely going to be seeing extended move to 28.6. There's really not much in that gap, that big region, there's not much there. And if we break to the downside below 21.9K, we will likely be seeing a move down to that 19.5 to 20K region. But again, talked about that a lot in yesterday's video. There's really not much to discuss on Bitcoin other than that. We can move into total cryptocurrency market cap briefly and understand that the total cryptocurrency market cap is essentially in a very similar position to what Bitcoin is in. And essentially has the same targets, right? If we were to apply very similar pink dashed lines to total cryptocurrency market cap, we would get the exact same targets and very similar percentage moves on the Bitcoin chart, right? So and vice versa, I should say. So yeah, not really much to say there. I will say that Bitcoin dominance has been rising quite significantly over the past couple of weeks. As you can see, Bitcoin has actually flipped the high it saw over here in November. It's gone higher, while the total cryptocurrency market cap has actually made a kind of a level with that high, right? It's at the same level. So Bitcoin has obviously stolen the attention in the market, and that's due to those macro breakouts, which is generally what you see in bear markets. So it's good to see Bitcoin remaining on that trend there, because we've seen Bitcoin dominance kind of lack over the course of this bear market. Usually it goes very, very high upwards, but it's kind of stayed the same level. But that's a topic for another video. Look, and Ethereum as well. Same thing. Ethereum's at the same level it was here in November before the drop caused by FTX, sorry. And so it's kind of matched that level. It's forming some sort of kind of double top formation almost, but not really, because it's actually a W, but it's kind of topping out at that same level, while Bitcoin again has skyrocketed ahead and formed a higher high. So Ethereum and the total cryptocurrency market cap, and hence altcoins in general, are lacking behind Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin has stolen the show. Bitcoin has moved to the upside in a powerful pattern here. And again, we're just waiting to see what happens. But ultimately, I do want to quickly just go over again. We're really waiting for that weekly candle close in 3 days and 19 hours. And we're really waiting for that monthly candle close on Bitcoin in 5 days and 19 hours as well. So those are the two things we're watching. And of course, we have FOMC in about 6 or 7 days from now. So within the next week or so, right, the next 7 days, there's a few big things going on, and we're going to have to dive into the charts when those things get closer. But as of right now, that's all I can offer you on Bitcoin. And without further ado, I want to look into a few things before we end the video. Firstly, the Bitget Exchange. Now, this is the exchange we use for the VIP group. It's the exchange we use on the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. I reached out to Bitget about 6 or 7 months ago, probably a little bit more than that now, actually asking them for a partnership. They didn't ask me for one because I saw how good this exchange was and I was using it for months before I linked up with them. This exchange has 5 times lower fees than Binance. It recently had a no spot fees event, and it will be returning at some point. We'll have no spot fees in all coins. It's got a protection fund, which is especially important in wake of what's happened with FTX. So essentially, if the exchange gets hacked, or if you get hacked on the exchange, you can make a claim to the protection fund and actually get reimbursed for the funds that you lost. So many things to like about this exchange. And on top of all of that, if you sign up using my referral link to this exchange, not only are you helping out my channel, you're also helping out yourself, by the way, for getting access to lower fees. But on top of that, you're getting access to exclusive rewards and discounts on fees via signing up with my link. So go ahead and do that. And then we have the Crypto Academy, and this is if you want to learn how to trade. You want to become a trader yourself. A course developed by myself and Mega Crypto teaching people how to trade. You can find out all the information on the course website in the pinned comment and description. And ultimately, you can go down and email us here at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll send you back a pamphlet with all the information required for you to make an educated decision on whether you want to get in on that course or not. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.